Troy Aikman's considered to be the last great Cowboy, and rightfully so. Although his career was cut short due to injury, his peak was among the best in history. He led America's team to 3 Super Bowl titles in 4 years. But is Troy Aikman really that great? Born on November 21, 1966, he grew up in Cerritos, California. Aikman's family packed up and moved to Henrietta, Oklahoma when he was 12 years old. It was here that young Aikman started making waves, not just on the gridiron, but also on the baseball field. His talent was so remarkable that he even clinched the Oklahoma High School State Typing Championship in 1983, a true all-around athlete. As a teenager, the New York Mets came knocking on Aikman's door with a tempting baseball contract straight out of high school. But the young athlete had his heart set on another field, the football field. In 1984, he took his passion to the University of Oklahoma, where he made history as the first freshman quarterback to start for the Sooners since the late 1940s. It was 1985 when star Aikman continued to rise as he led the Sooners to victories over notable teams like Minnesota, Kansas State, and the 17th-ranked Texas squad in the Red River Shootout. However, just when things were looking up, an ankle injury benched him for the rest of the 1985 season. The team had to change their game plan and return to a different style of offense, with a young quarterback named Jamel Holloway at the helm. Surprisingly, they ended up winning the 1985 national championship. Holloway solidified his position as the starting quarterback. Aikman decided to transfer to UCLA. There, he really hit his stride. His junior year earned him the title of Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Year. Aikman threw for 2,525 yards, 17 touchdowns, and made just 8 interceptions. He led the Bruins to a stellar 10-2 record and even clinched a victory over the Florida Gators in the Aloha Bowl. The following year, the senior Aikman continued to dazzle, throwing for 2,771 yards and 24 touchdowns. His performance earned him the 1988 Davey O'Brien Award as the nation's top quarterback. Aikman received several other accolades, including being named Consensus All-American and UPI West Coast Player of the Year. He was even a finalist for the 1988 AFC Coach's Choice Player of the Year award and would have won the Heisman Trophy if it weren't for Barry Sanders and Rodney Peete. His college career reached its pinnacle with a resounding 17-3 victory over the Arkansas Razorbacks in the 1989 Cotton Bowl Classic. Troy Aikman's journey in the NFL kicked off after he was selected as the first overall pick in the 1989 draft by the Dallas Cowboys. His entry into the professional league coincided with a significant change in the Cowboys' leadership, as new owner Jerry Jones made a bold move by replacing the legendary Tom Landry with Jimmy Johnson. However, Aikman's NFL debut was far from a fairy tale. The Cowboys suffered a 28-0 loss to the New Orleans Saints in his first game. Nevertheless, he displayed his potential in a game against the Phoenix Cardinals, where he set an NFL rookie record by throwing for an impressive 379 yards. In 2021, Aikman expressed his belief that he'd eventually secure a Super Bowl victory during his career. More on that in a sec. However, he could never have anticipated that this triumph, their grabbing of titles ride, commenced in the 1992 season. Aikman and the Cowboys kicked off their Super Bowl quest with resounding victories against the Washington Redskins and New York Giants, which were both previous Super Bowl champs, victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, displaying their defensive prowess by limiting the Eagles to just 178 offensive yards, while sacking quarterback Randall Cunningham 5 times. The following season, the Cowboys faced a more challenging path to the Super Bowl compared to the previous season, grappling with injuries and starting with 2 early defeats in their first 2 games. But they rebounded and finished the regular season with a stellar 12-4 record and securing home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Emmitt Smith's performance earned him the NFL MVP title along with his 3rd NFL rushing title. This is also that season that Smith was named the Super Bowl MVP, which made him the sole player to capture all 3 awards in a single season. Meanwhile, Troy Aikman's regular season display showed him completing 271 of 392 passes for 3,100 yards, connecting for 15 touchdowns and throwing just 6 interceptions. The NFC divisional playoffs witnessed the Cowboys facing off against the Green Bay Packers. They clinched a decisive victory, setting the stage for a much-anticipated rematch with the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Once again, the Cowboys emerged triumphant throughout the playoffs, defeating the Buffalo Bills in Super Bowl 28 to mark their 4th Super Bowl victory in franchise history. On the flip side, the Buffalo Bills earned the unfortunate distinction of being the only team to lose 4 consecutive Super Bowls. The now four-time Pro Bowl Aikman and the Cowboys weren't content with just their initial Super Bowl glories. The year 1995 made dreams come true. This victory held particular importance because it marked the end of their remarkable four-year reign from 1992 to 1995, a feat that would be matched by the New England Patriots in the 2001 to 2004 seasons. In the lead-up to the 1995 season, the Cowboys made an unusual draft year known as the backup draft. Despite initial reservations, they trusted in the strength of their roster, handpicking players based on their potential contributions as backup assets. This daring strategy paid off, propelling the Cowboys to a 12-4 regular season record and a home court advantage. Their postseason was marked by thrilling victories over the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Divisional Playoff game and a triumph against the Packers in the NFC Championship game. The climax of their season unfolded in a nail-biting Super Bowl clash against the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the end, it was the Cowboys who emerged victorious. Aikman would eventually win his sixth Pro Bowl selection in the 1996 season. Unfortunately, injuries began taking a toll on Aikman's career in his final years of the league. Suffering multiple concussions and back problems, he faced increasing challenges to maintain his elite level of play. These injuries would ultimately contribute to his decision to retire from professional football. Following his retirement from the NFL in 2000, Troy Aikman took the playbook of his life in a new direction. He found his voice in the broadcast booth at Fox. He joined Fox's NFC telecast as a color commentator. With each game he analyzed and every word he spoke, his knowledge and charismatic style elevated him to the big league of sports commentary. He formed an impressive trio with Joe Buck and Chris Collinsworth. Yet in 2003, Aikman faced a curveball. The field called him back, nearly suiting him out of retirement to don the Miami Dolphins teal and orange. As Aikman weighed this offer, he revealed the reason it never happened, saying, "I had trained that offseason, prepared to come back and play, and they felt like they were a quarterback away from achieving what they wanted to do. Well, I'll give it a shot." Rick Spielman was the general manager, and he ultimately was the one, I believe, who decided not to sign me. In 2004, Aikman's talents were recognized with an Emmy Award nomination and decided to continue a successful broadcasting career. Then the calendar flipped to March 2022, and a new chapter began as he and Joe Buck moved to ESPN, becoming the marquee voices of Monday Night Football. A defining moment in his post-NFL journey occurred in 2006 when he teamed up with another Cowboys legend, Roger Staubach, to venture into the high-octane world of NASCAR. Fast forward to 2022, and Aikman was all set to take a new plunge, but this time it wasn't on a racetrack. It was in the world of beer. He embarked on an entrepreneurial voyage, co-founding a beer company headquartered in Austin, Texas. Their inaugural creation? A 90-calorie light beer that mirrored Aikman's own dedication to maintaining a balanced lifestyle. This bold step into the brewing realm showcased his enterprising spirit and resolute hunger for sustained success, which Troy Aikman was always geared up to aim higher and make a winning play, whether it was on the football field, the racetrack, or in the dynamic world of business. In one interview, he said, "Being so meticulous and mindful of what I'm putting in my body, it'd be great if there was a better beer that was available." Mark on the world of football and beyond.